Miami, Florida, and reptilian shapeshifters. So this girl said she had only been out of high school about a year, probably around 19 years old, and she had to get a job like quickly. This is way before the age of the cell phone where you still had to look up jobs in like a newspaper. She's going through the newspaper, she's circling jobs. Her day was full of going for interviews. And next up is a catering company. They quickly offer her a job and tell her that she starts the very next night for a charity event. She knows nothing about the catering industry whatsoever, but she is informed that they work for a lot of big money, super duper wealth. When she hears that part, she's kind of taken aback and is like, wait a minute, I'm not ready for this. And he said, have you not ever heard of on-the-job training? This is what we do. She realizes quickly on that it's kind of like an art expo with dinner, champagne, and things of that nature with a charity dinner. She said the way that these people walked was like they smiled, but they didn't smile with their face really. It was just kind of a weird smile. Kind of like they were having to act. She said that you could hear their laughs, but they were really stale, like they had no heart or emotion to them at all. She said that the politicians and people from Miami and surrounding areas and probably all over the world that were here for this charity event, she said they were too cold and too calculated, that every move they made was so precise. And in her mind, she's thinking, God, it must be nice to be that eloquent and have that much money. She said that she was over by a back patio that was huge. She was like, this thing had so many different doors that opened and folded into the wall, and that they were midway open and she could overhear a conversation while she was refilling a glass of champagne. She said this guy was really tall, slender, nice black suit with like silvery colored hair. She said, and you could quite obviously tell that the woman that was standing on the other side of him, his back was to the server. And she said that the woman that was standing on the other side of him, you could see that she was wearing like a short red cocktail dress with some really big stiletto black heels. And you could see that she was shorter than him because you couldn't see her at all, but you could tell they were softly arguing. She said that the guy grabbed her arm, and when it did, her face looked like she was in abject terror. And she got so nervous, the server did, that she dropped the bottle of champagne, and he turned his face like this. She said, and when he did, it looked like part of his face, not all of it in one area, just part of his face had like luminescent scales like a chameleon. And then just as quick as she saw it, boom, it snapped right back to the way it was before. So then she said that he stops doing what he's doing with the woman that's in terror. She said she couldn't tell if she was in terror because she thought he might hit her or because of what she saw as well. She said he turns around and walks over to her while she's cleaning it up, and he bends down right in her face and says, is everything okay, ma'am? And that one of his eyes, it was like it glitched and went sideways, just like a reptile. She said, but when he asked her that question, is everything okay? She was like, his voice was like layered, like it was two people speaking at once, and it was like deep. She said it was as if his voice had layers to it. She said, for the life of me, I can't even remember what I mumbled to him because I was shaking so hard. She said, but I quickly got up the dustpan, got up the champagne bottle, and ran to the kitchen. She said another server looked over at her and said, you saw that too, didn't you? She said it was like the director came straight over, like he had been observing the entire time, and there were two of them. There was a husband and wife that were running the whole catering thing. He comes over there, takes them out to the hallway, pays them double, and tells them to never, ever speak of it again. She says, I still to this day don't know whatever happened to the other server, but I never went back again. However, about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, she was looking through a magazine back when people used to look through those. And she said that she saw the man, and he was a major philanthropist and was philanthropist of the year. So what do you think? Do you think she saw someone that high up shapeshift? I mean, I don't know.